understand the reason for that, but it's kind of like if you walk up and say, "Oh, it's okay," is that like they're gonna think that it's okay to be scared?
Yep. You don't want to.
Kind of like a reward.
It's better because to actually reward the right action is really hard to do. It's better not to be involved with dog-to-dog interactions at all, ever. In all honesty, with him I did because I know him way too well. Again, that's why we have the collar on. Normally, you don't ever want to add an aggressive technique to any aggression because pain causes more aggression. With him, it's so bred into this kind of dog that me correcting him is like, hey, you need to listen to me. And we have the relationship that when I said, hey, come here, and he didn't acknowledge me, he knew the shock was for not coming to me, not for sniffing the other dog. If you did it too soon, he would associate that stress with the other dog, and it would cause an aggression, which a lot of times people accidentally do without even knowing it. When they're walking the dog and like, hey, come on, and they're like stressing the dog or grabbing the dog or making it a horrible experience.
Well, that's what you do, and mostly they meet another dog because you just want to get them away.
And that's a gut reaction. Like I said, make sure you know first 100% that you're okay, because you don't want to put a dog in a bad situation, especially like a dog like Briley, because she's so friendly that if she got nailed too many times, she would go fearful. She'd be like, I don't want to. I don't want to be with these dogs anymore because it's starting to hurt. Where he is going to be the aggressor. He looks for the fight. Any dog with his personality, I would say single dog home always. Just because he will look and look and look. With the second lab, he picked and picked and picked and picked and picked until she barked, and then he's like, oh, let's go. Right off the bat. Which, he did it to Briley too in the beginning. He's like, oh, pick, 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 pick. She didn't care. She's like, I don't know what you're doing, but that's fine. I'm just going to bounce it off. Then they were able to play. He's like, okay, we can actually be okay, and I can release myself with you because she handled it the right way. The chance of getting a dog like that is not high, though. That's really slim, especially with the Pyrenees. That's not super common because they're more standoffish anyways. Again, I would utilize her for like getting a dog used to dogs. I would take her and another dog walking a lot. We don't want to do the introduction right off the bat. I did it because I know I was watching them closely enough, but you want to start out walking and just walk them, be far apart at first and then get closer together, and then put them away, and then do it again and again and again. Dogs can learn how to be socially acceptable with other dogs without having to be put in their place first. Any other questions on the dog-to-dog intro? Yes?
Just kind of related to that, and like my personal dog, when I'm walking her, she's fine and normal most of the time, but there are times where she just will, like, sometimes if the other dog is chill, she'll walk by and she's fine. But then other times she'll just start like lunging at the fence, and then I do the pull back thing, and I'm like,
That's instinctual.
Yeah, like to try to correct her. So it's like, what am I supposed to do to teach her to not?
That's where you want to kind of get in the way, defensive handling, cut them off, be like, let's go.
Okay,
let's go.
I do that.
Claim
too,
the space.
I just kind of hold them away.
Yep, you want to just get in the way. Again, safety first.
Yeah.
If you have to pull back, do that instead of get bit. But I would walk into him first. With him, I do have that command call. I think I had it on last class. Yep. Because he will aggress and aggress and aggress, and that's just stop. I want you to stop.
What if it's your dog though? I'll be walking Molly, and another dog will lunge for her, and she'll trip me to get. What do I do?
Best thing is keep moving. It's hard, but if he's fighting another dog and I keep walking, he eventually has to walk with me. Dogs do better with movement.
But what do I do with the other? Sometimes the other person will have this aggressive dog and they just don't know what to do. So I have to do something for my dog.
With that, use your leash. If your dog's not aggressive at all, put the leash out in front. They're going to go for what moves if you keep your dog calm enough. That's where I would do a lot of obedience.
My instinct is to pick her up right away. So that
you don't want to pick her up because the minute you pick her up, that makes the prey move even more. It's up high then. I had an aggressive Yorkie before I came here. He was in a plot. He was great until she snapped and went after me. She was up high. He lunged for her. Luckily, I've got good enough control. I'm like, knock it off, put him in a plot, and he dropped. But he would have gone after her. She was up high. Every time the owner picked that dog up, he got antsy. Just because it's moving and it makes the owner go like this. And that's like waving a toy around in circles. It's like, hey, look at this. If they're on the floor, they see it more as a being versus a tug toy.
That's just an instinct because I have dogs and I always want to, when the dog comes running to us, I'm going to pick him up and just...
Yep, it is hard. And like I said, most of the time, 95% of the time, he's the dog. He will run and lunge at other dogs. If the other dog keeps moving and walking away, calmly, you don't want to take off running because that just increases the prey drive. But he has gone after other dogs, and if the other dog just keeps walking away, it diffuses everything. Movement diffuses everything most of the time.
What if I'm outside with my dog one day and the idiot 2 doors down from me has their dog out running around loose because they do that? And this dog is like, you know, you can tell he's because the first time he saw my dog, he got into a really alert position.
Yeah.
If he takes off after my dog, and my instinct's going to be to pick my dog up to protect
Right,
him.
exactly.
Best thing, if you know what's going to happen, have like a stick, like a walking stick, and just
Okay.
kind of put it in front of the dog. Create space, create a boundary around your dog to create the space to move it. That and the dog will go after the stick. They'll go after whatever's really, really moving first. Or an air horn, something loud, a shaker can. If you have a problem with a neighbor's dog or something like that, try to prevent the issue. It's never better to pick up the dog. That can actually cause behavior issues in your dog because then they know something is wrong right off the bat. If you're like, oh my gosh, come here, they're going to maybe bark and react because that something is very, very wrong. If you stay calm, your dog will stay calm 10 times more. Like the Yorkie bit my hand numerous times. Stayed calm by the end of the session. Both me and the guy that was with me were able to pet the dog. Even though she bites, if you touch her face, she bit anybody. By just being calm and assertive, like, hey, stop. I don't care what you're doing right now, which is the hardest thing to do human nature-wise. We want to panic and be like, hey, come on. Prime example, Andrew, he's like, come here. When the other dog went after Riley, if you stay calm, it diffuses a lot of things right off.
Normally I'd pick her up, but
Normally I'd pick her dog. But no, he didn't. He put himself in between, which in all reality, we'd rather have the dog fight than get bit too. Especially if it's a dog we don't know shots or anything like that. The chance of them actually puncturing a dog is very, very slim. Like, he's been in more fights than I would like to admit to, because him and my roommate's dog at school were both intact males. They were both working dogs. And they would fight the fence and they'd fight the doors, and every single time, never punctured each other. At the end, we just let them fight it out. We're like, fine, have at each other. When we didn't care and we walked away, they stopped and they're like, why are you walking away? You're not making a big scene.
Well, this is no fun anymore.
And then we walked away. If there was nothing commotion, nothing feeding into it, eventually it just diffuses itself. Again, don't just start walking away if the dog's fighting, because you have to really know the situation first. This was months that we lived with these two, and they never punched each other, so we're like, fine, you have at it. You guys can roll each other and try and figure out who's dominant. They never did. We just walked away, and they're like, oh, I'd rather go with you guys because we were more important. Again, that's a relationship thing. He'd normally trust me to take care of the situation, although he likes to take care of it himself because that's him in all of his glory. But it's enough obedience. I'm like, stop. If I say stop, you need to just pause. Mm-hmm. Like with the dog, we had him meet the other dog. The other dog bit him in the face. I said, you need to lay there, so he did. He didn't go after her because I did hold him down like this because I didn't want him to be able to stand up over her and make it worse. But he did remain calm. Just based off relationship and a lot of training and conditioning, he trusted me that I said, no, stop, just be calm. And he's like, okay, fine. She can bite my face. And she did. She kind of pulled on his lip, and he sat there.
Is that with the Yorkie that you're talking
Yep.
about? Okay.
Any other questions about the dog-to-dog intros?
Would you ever, like, say with any dog that's not socialized well, would you say they would need to live or be with, the more interaction they could have, the more positive interaction they could have with
Yep.
other dogs, the better?
Yep, with
Because
like the
then they're
skittish
learning.
dog, I would start taking her, with dog-friendly dogs, walker, teach her it's okay. She doesn't know. She does not know that it's okay. She's trying to defend herself. We don't know her background. She could have been bit by a dog. She may have been raised, it could have been just the two dogs in the litter. She could have been taken 10 times too soon, which causes that reaction. So just condition her, it's fine. The border collie I got hated other dogs. She'd go after him. She can go to the dog park now and be loose.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is there any way to kind of identify in certain dogs before they even get to the dog? I mean, the working class dogs, of course, but like, for example, Jasper was a dog we had when I first got here. He was a German Shepherd. Loved people. He could jump up on him, stuff like that. But you would never know that he was bad with other dogs. Is there anything that would have stuck out?
You would have to really start. The best thing to do, honestly, is to watch a lot of dog-to-dog interaction videos. Watch a ton, learn behavior. I can tell right off the bat which dogs are going to be okay and which aren't. Briley, right off the bat, had no. She's not submissive, but she's not dominant. She's that even keel middle ground. He's as dominant as it gets. That top line dominant. The one that was scared was totally fear. Like right off the bat when she went after Briley, she's not going to ever make contact. Unless it's a dog like him he would push her until she did, and then it would be a dog fight. But with a dog that's social enough, there's not going to be a dog fight. We want to try and condition that before we let adopters see that, though, because that will freak out an adopter. They're not going to want their dog anywhere near that. Because if I didn't know better, I would be like, no, I don't want my dog to meet that. I don't want my dog to get bit. If we can have her comfortable enough and meet enough friendly dogs to take her back and enough social skills with other dogs, she won't act like that. She will eventually figure it out through positive experiences that, hey, dogs are fine, this isn't bad. We just want to make sure we don't put her with a negative dog because that will take her back to step one.
Okay. I did a dog test on Saturday, and they actually ended up gotten a dog because it went really well. They were out in the yard playing, and Bear, who I adopted out, wanted to play, and Charlie was kind of like ignoring him, was tolerant of him, but eventually Bear just kind of left him alone. And I asked him, well, are you looking for a playmate for your dog? Because I think this is going to work out if you're looking for a playmate. And they said, well, no, not really. We're just looking for a second dog to add. But, I mean, Charlie was ignoring Bear. I mean, is that going to be something that he's not going to tolerate after a while?
That would be what I would do. Ignoring is better than playing. 10 times out of 10, ignoring is better than playing. When they ignore each other,
right.
Notice Briley and Nico ignored each other eventually. When he did the dominant, I'm going to be a jerk, she's like, okay, whatever. He's a jerk. She's like, whatever. Eventually, he went off and did his own thing, and they didn't play.
Okay.
Eventually, she got him to. She's like, okay, let's play. Friends at school, she ended up adopting her rescue dog. They met each other. They wanted nothing to do with each other at all. They didn't even sniff each other when they first met. They are the best friends now. They play like crazy. But it's a built-up relationship. Dogs don't automatically get along right away. They're not like people. We're like, oh, I'm going to be best friends with you because I like your personality. The dog has to establish a relationship with the other dog first before they go into playing. So when a person is looking for a playmate, try and find a dog that acknowledges them, kind of looks at them, sniffs, and then walks away. And that's going to make bringing them into their other house better too, because they're not encroaching on the dog. He would encroach until the other dog reacted.
I have a question. I have a foster right now, a Min Pin, and he's turned out to be a really good dog. But we have a little terrier who had to have ACL surgery, and all of a sudden the Min Pin kind of went after him. Like, was it trying to be dominant? Was he trying to say, now that you're hurt, I'm going to be the dominant one?
It can be. Dogs are still more of a primal factor. Even the small ones, they will notice age, and they will notice weakness.
He stopped after the terrier let him know that, hey, I'm still the boss.
Yeah, but it could just be a try. Like, I'm gonna see how we can go. Again, anytime you do like a surgery or anything weird, did the dog just come back from the vet too?
Yeah, he had just had the surgery, and he was just kind of.
The dog smells funny too.
Okay.
The dog no longer smells like the dog they knew. It's a totally new dog to them.
Okay.
Even though the dog is the same dog, they now smell like anesthesia and vets and people and dogs and cats and clinic smells. Most dogs view that clinic smell as bad. It's really, I would never, if I took him to the vet, even if he didn't stay there, I won't let him interact with another dog for a day because it's a negative smell. And they will react. It's hard to tell. You wouldn't normally get it or guess it, but if you ever notice, dogs don't like going to the vet.
Oh, yeah.
Almost none of them.
I noticed that one.
He doesn't care, in all honesty. He likes it just because he's confident enough. Granted, I throw a ball in his mouth because he's bit vets before because they didn't listen to how to behave with him. I asked if we could muzzle, and they said no. First, I asked if I could hold him. They said no. And it was a new vet, and I'm like, okay, can we muzzle him because he will bite? And they said, oh, he'll be fine. And the first thing she did was lean over him, and he turned and grabbed her for side. Which I'm like, I warned you. Which, if you know your dog is in that position, really try and warn people ahead of time. If they still go through with it, I mean, that's their problem at that point. I didn't feel bad. I'm like, Blaine told you he doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I love my vet. I don't go to that one anymore. And vets are awesome. They don't do dog behavior, though. Just like they don't do dog nutrition, because they always push science diet, science diet, science diet. They don't do nutrition. They don't do behavior. They do the medical side of it. So with any kind, even I would never get like aggression advice from them because they don't know. They would just recommend like a sedative or some kind of medication for it, which 9 times out of 10 you don't need. I've only ever met one dog that did need it. She was so terrified that the owner wasn't working hard enough to bring her out, so they went the medicine route. Any other questions on that?
Would you ever,
Stop.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Really quick. Do you need Briley for anything else?
Nope, I think you're good.
Okay.
would you ever, like, muzzle 2 dogs and let them?
I would. If you have 2 really dogs that do not get along, don't get along. At the school I went to, we actually did naughty dog play dates and they would let him fight it out. Because half the time the dog needs to do that to realize, and when you let them fight it out, they very seldom actually do anything. And eventually they will give up and they're like, well, this is pointless. The big thing is if you do that route, you have to have two really, really experienced people, probably more than that, shake your cans, and you don't want to get involved.
And zip ties.
Yep, yep. You just want to let them, like if I were to muzzle him and let him eat a dog, actually police dogs do muzzle fighting for that reason. He's done muzzle fighting where you muzzle them and let them go after the person without a sleeve on. It hurts. But the most that's going to happen is like a few scratches on him, because there's no punctures if you have the muzzle right.
Mm-hmm.
Before you do that, if you decide we're going to try that with two dogs that just are not getting along, condition them to the muzzle first. You don't want to slap the muzzle on and throw them in the air. Yes.
When you use a muzzle, do you use like the soft one or do you use a cage muzzle?
I prefer the cage.
Okay.
Personal preference, it doesn't really matter. I know we have the other thing we're going to kind of cover is clicker conditioning with aggression issues. A lot of dogs don't like their nails, teeth, eyes messed with because it's a bad experience.
Toby.
Do you have a dog here that does that?
Toby.
Okay.
He has
Toby
ear
had to be
infection
anesthetized.
also, I don't know.
Oh, it's like Molly.
Toby had to be anesthetized. That was ears so bad.
Let's say, is he still sore from his ears, or is
That
it?
I
was
don't know.
about 2
He's
weeks
not on
ago.
meds for his ears anymore.
Okay, we'll probably try it. It's probably more of a bad experience now. So if we could bring him out a bucket of food, does he have allergies, or can he do any food, or does he like?
Or no, he's on that special food.
Does he like his food, or is he?
He gobbles it up. Yeah,
Okay, so if we want to bring out some of his food,
Okay.
and then him, and then
He's
do we
not
have?
dog friendly.
No, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna have him with other dogs. Do we have a kennel I can just throw him into?
blue one right over there.
Perfect.
Bye, everybody.
You did wonderful.